Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see. So Around Town Radio Show, that's where I go for the latest band info. So Around Town Radio Show, for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio Show. The All Around Town Radio.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program here. It is Tuesday. It's Hot Topic Tuesday. And we are patiently awaiting on Karis. She's forgotten what time it is, I bet.
It's the Weekend Review. Top 5 are coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. We're coming who's playing out off the open jam with the Who's Who of Talent. Come Friday night, ready to raise some hell. With
That's right. Welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday, All Around Town Radio here on a Tuesday. Welcome to the program, everybody. Remember, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities that they represent. Yes. Good afternoon. I am waiting on Karis. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I know. George Orr in the house. How are you, George? Good to have you with us. What's going on, my friend? Rockstar action here today. Hi, Gary. Thank you for checking in. Ditch. Howdy. Jamie Minnick in the house. Jamie Minnick, good to see you. Kevin Cooper. Yeah, I know, Kevin. I know. It's a struggle is real every single Tuesday. It is. Last minute Larry's here. We both are some days. Scott and Carrie. Yeah, it's supposed to be Karis. She had a little trouble getting on yesterday from her office, and I think that's where she is today. So hopefully she will join us here in a little bit and be part of the wonderful Tuesday programming. What's up, Kareem? How are you? Kara in the house. Skip from Liars for Hire has joined us today. Thank you so much. Kim, how are you? Thank you for being here. Gamut wife in the house. Kevin Cooper saying hi, everyone. Say hi to Kevin Cooper, everybody. Hi, Bob Klein. Thank you for joining me yesterday. Bob was the red guy yesterday. We had a little lighting issue with him. But Bob always does a great job, and he did a great job with us yesterday. Always has some wonderful comments. Glad to hear that he is with us today. Hi there, Chip. Thanks for being here. Jeff Vance checking in on the YouTube channel. Glenn checking in also on YouTube. Thank you. Jason Hicks also on the YouTube channel. Hello, Evelyn. What's going on? Hello, Bill. All right, kids. It's time to resort to text messaging. Let's see if she'll answer me. Karis, where are you? Okay, I am live. Karis, there you go. All right, there it is. John Dale in the house. Hi, Roger. Happy birthday, Roger. Everybody say happy birthday to Roger also, if you can. All right. Kareem already has the answer to today's topic. Don't stop believing. We can all retire it. Well, yes, it's been played a lot. Overplayed. But I'm looking today for musicians and what they basically what they won't play. What they absolutely know is either not in their wheelhouse or they just won't play it because of certain personal convictions. And we'll get into more stuff here in a minute as soon as I see if I can get Karis on here live with me. She may have gotten tied up with a phone call or something. We'll see what shakes. And if not, you got me. You can all check out like you always do when it's just me. Thanks. I know who you're here to see. Miss Potty Mouth herself, Karis. John Dale, thank you for saying happy birthday to Roger. All right. Everybody's saying happy birthday. Hi, Colt. Thank you for being here today. Where are you from, Colt? You're playing music. What band you in there? Mention the band, if you will. And Jamie has just made a wonderful comment. If you play Freebird, I'm out of there. Wow, really? I know people that play it. I do. And I know people that play it for $100. Wagon Wheel, Colt throwing in there. Yeah, I got you. I get that. There's bars in Nashville that have signs on the wall that says so many days since Wagon Wheel's been played. And if you play it, boy, you get booed out of the place. Despite whether it's a good song or not a good song. And, you know, did Old Crow Medicine Show ever think that it would go down like that? Probably not. Yes, what's going on, Sean Cooper? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Colt. Skunk Dog. Okay, there we go. Is that a stinky band, man? Skunk Dog. That's a fun band name. It is. Jonathan Grooms, he's got the big, he wrote a novel here. So let me see what we got on the screen. I'm going to try to look above the novel here if I can. And he says, nothing that contains any slurs, racist, homophobic slurs or language, won't play it, requested or otherwise. There we go. When he played Dallas, the band wanted to do a Macklemore song called Thrift Store or Thrift to play it. Band compromised and said I could step off stage. Wow, there you go. And the keyboard player managed the left-hand bass. Wow, that's dedication, isn't it? Or dumb. Why didn't it just cut it out? I don't know. And yes, she told me she'd be here. Oh, she said emergency. So I don't know what that means. So we'll just see what happens with Karis here and see if she can make it. And we'll see what happens. All right. And that's all I know. So hopefully everything's okay with her. And yes, I know they have Gina and Johnny tonight, Glenn. How do I follow that tomorrow night with Name That Tune when everybody's going on Tuesday? That's what's going to happen today. So I'll be at the Bell tomorrow night with Name That Tune. Let's get into this topic, though. It's time for the topic. I want to know, thank you for that, Jonathan Grooms. And Jonathan, I did not miss your message. I just haven't had a chance to answer yet. I'll get back with you very soon. I want to have you on the show for real. Yes, thank you for responding to my remarks the other day. I appreciate that. And yeah, the lyric was disgusting. Yeah, and there are some songs out there that just should not be done. And you know, that gets into a whole other ball of wax with somebody on stage in a mixed environment or an environment with a lot of kids in the room using the F-bombs every minute, just sometimes inappropriate, but we won't get into that part of the show. David Parks has joined us. He says, Sweet Home Alabama, you'd rather fight a rabid bear locked in a phone booth. Love it. Yeah, so give me some of the songs you would never play, even if somebody tipped you $100, let's say, or something like that. And yes, Sweet Home Alabama is definitely one of those songs. And anything overplayed, he says, on any band set list. Yeah, Don't Stop Believing is another one that comes to mind, as Kareem said. Hi, Ryan Schwab. How are you? Stephen Bishop said, suffice to say, there are a ton of overworked tunes. Absolutely. So really, though, I'm looking today. Let's try to throw in some songs you always get requests for, but you'll never play. Because, you know, that comes to the old thing about, do you appeal to your audience or not? Are you playing what your audience wants to hear? There's always that guy in the back yelling Freebird or something stupid like that. But I mean, you know, if your audience keeps asking you guys to learn a song or play a song, what's your reason for not playing it, I guess is my question. What's Bob got to say here? He doesn't care how much the tip is. He refuses to play Mustang Sally. Boy, that one was overplayed for years and years, wasn't it? But the bad part about Mustang Sally is when you play it in depending on the environment you play it in, it fills the dance floor, which is really crazy. It is. I feel like I'm in a Chinese movie today. My lips on the screen are moving different than my voice is. So hopefully you're not seeing that today. The Kid Rock version of Sweet Home is even worse. There you go. Yes, absolutely. I would agree. Wow. Thank you, Dewey. Crescendo says Nothing by Wham. Okay. You don't want to wake me up before you go or any of that. The overplayed songs can create quite the argument. Band doesn't want it. Crowd wants it. Venue is divided because they're sick of it. But the cash register's ringing. That's pretty appropriate there, Kevin Cooper. Thank you for that. And I haven't heard anything back from Karis yet, guys. So let me see what else I got going here real fast. Let me just answer her, and there we go. All right. That's where we're at today. Oh my God, I got something in my eye. My eye. So keep them coming. Let's talk about those songs. Crescendo said, or I'm sorry, who else? Courtney said, "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." Well, that one's too long. First of all, whether you play it or not, it's just too damn long. You know, in the radio business, they used to call those number 2 songs. When you had to go number 2, you put on a song like that. Back when you could pick the songs, you know, those kind of things. But yeah, strange. We're there to entertain, but not for one request at the expense of the whole audience. Yeah, and Kevin said something on the page earlier today, or on the Bells page, or something about this. That said, that Kevin said something about if it clears the dance floor or runs everybody off, I'm not going to play it. Fact. So you have to be judgy about your audience a little bit. You have to judge who you're playing to. And yes, Stephen Bishop said, I think most people who actually know him know where the lines are. Well, I'd like to know where they are, because I don't know you well enough to know where your line's drawn. But, you know, and Tessa says, what gives with Freebird? The drunker people get someone yells. Yeah, that's just become a little cult thing to do. You scream Freebird in a bar, you know. I mean, how about if we all changed it and screamed funeral for a friend? Yeah, let's do that. I'd listen to that. I would. Yes, kind of despise Sweet Caroline, but it's practically a national anthem. Jeff Vance says yes. And Kevin says American Pie. Yeah, then they leave the room in 90 seconds in. Amen to that. Don't you hate that when somebody's bugged you all night to play a song, you finally give in and you play it, and then you look up and they're walking out the door? It's like, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Freebird has become a meme. Kareem, I love it. Thank you. I'm still waiting on Karis, guys, to respond to me. She had some sort of an emergency right at the last minute here because she was logging in. I saw her popping on and then it went away. So we'll see what happened. If you play, used to tell bands if they played Mustang Sally, they wouldn't get paid. That happens with Wagon Wheel in Nashville. They're told, even though it's tips, but a lot of times. Brick House. Yes. Yeah, that's one too. I mean, you guys, if you think they're overplayed songs, that's one thing. But, you know, if there's a specific song that you get a lot of requests for and you never play it, pop it in the comments and tell me why you never play it, because that's what I'm interested in today. And the other thing is that the discussion came up the other day as we were talking with some musicians on how do you decide that one song maybe the band likes, but the audience isn't real into. Do you play that? Or, you know, the whole premise of you got to play to your audience thing. And what if it clears the dance floor and clears the room? Do you keep it in your set because the band likes to play it? That's always an interesting factor. It is. Jonathan says it grinds his gears when people try to request a song while you're singing. Oh my God. Doesn't that drive you crazy? And I've seen them step up on the stage even, you know, it's like, yeah, go to their office when they're having a corporate meeting and walk in and say, hey, I'd like you to talk about this today, and see how they react to that. Absolutely. And Glenn says he's even tipped Kevin Cooper about $400 and he still won't play anything by Air Supply. Jeez, Kevin Cooper. Well, at least we know he's not a whore for money. Because some of you in the comments today on the page were whores for money. You said money talks. So how many people believe if somebody drops 100, you ought to try to play it? Anybody out there have that belief too? Throw it in the comments, if you will. I'd love to have Karis on here right now talking about this, because she has some strong opinions. Trust me, as we talked about it earlier today. Anyone under 35 that yells Freebird isn't aware that that's even a song title. Thank you. Yeah, that's just trendy, isn't it? Trendy. Kevin's going to do an Air Supply tribute show. I'm in on that one. I'll sing harmonies on All Out of Love with you. Yes. I'm all out of love. No. All right. Jeff Vance, open for bid, then 150 not to play it. You know, yeah, somebody was commenting on the page too about that, where somebody said $100 for Wagon Wheel. Somebody says, I'll match that $100 not to play it. And then next thing you know, $100 again to play it. So it's up to $300, and the other guy throws another 100 in for $400. That's pretty beneficial to the band to not have to play the song. Absolutely. So yeah, keep them coming today. It's funny. We started out with 50 some people live. We're down to 39. You see what happens when I'm the only host? I'm going to give it up. I'm just going to turn it over to Karis if she'll show up. She will, for real. All right, Jetpack Academy says love Foo Fighters, but those guys are cover proof. Never quite sounds right. Yeah, and there are songs that people don't play that get requested as well. Songs that people don't play because they just can't, or it's hard to duplicate it. Somebody wrote Back on the Chain Gang today on the page was one they didn't do, and that's because of the fact that they didn't feel like they do it well and do it justice. So interesting. And Jonathan says $50 per band member. Hey guys, I think somebody has joined me here. Hang on, let me see if I can get Karis up and live. If I can. Hello, darling.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, good.
We're mid dialogue here talking about stuff, okay? And we're talking about that topic we mentioned earlier today about songs that bands won't play even if they get a good tip for it. And you ever had that experience?
Well, yeah, but I'm also a little upset about how many people hate their song Freebird. I love that song.
I like it too.
Am I? Okay, so I'm not the only person left.
No, it's a great song. And I love even today the new Leonard Skinner, not the original, obviously. Can't see them anymore. But the Leonard Skinner that's out there touring and that, when they play at the Room, I mean, the Room is electric. It's still one of those rock anthems, whether you like it or not. I just think it got overplayed a lot, like Don't Stop Believing. It's a great song, but how many times can you be just a small town girl? I mean, that's the tough part. There's a ton of comments. Are you a small town girl?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to read all the comments from before.
Oh, there was a ton on the page today too about this.
There's a ton on my share on my thing too.
Yeah, and Brian will tell the crowd that $10 will stop the next song.
I got my eye.
That's interesting. Are you all right?
Something's in it.
I have something in my right eye too, and I don't know what's going on here. We need to get some wash. Bob Klein, the guy from West Virginia, badgered him for 3 nights straight to do a quick verse chorus of Country Roads for $100. We finally gave up. He didn't tip. Never again. Yes. Amen to that. I want that tip in hand before I play the first chord of that song. How about you? And yeah, Back in the Chain Gang, tough because of the vocals. And there are some songs that bands shouldn't play, period. And if somebody comes up and says, can you do Saving All My Love by Whitney Houston? If you don't have the pipes, honey, you better not be singing Whitney or Freddie Mercury or some of these other folks that have great voices.
Well, that Sean says self-awareness, right? No.
Yes. Sean says, welcome back, Karis.
Thanks, Sean. I said thanks.
I'm glad you could make it, Karis. And yes, I think overplayed and won't play it is a whole different category, though. I mean, we know there are songs that are overplayed that bands are just like sick of, the venues are sick of. But what happens is when that band or venue, when that band plays it and the venue looks out in the audience and they see 100 people dancing to it, they're like, well, that's okay to play. I mean, that's kind of the end result, I guess, on some of this. And what do we got here? Aerosmith doing Angel live. It got Burnout. Well, yeah, there's a lot of songs that I think are Burnout for me. And most local bands can't play Freebird well enough, Taz says. Okay. I would say that. But I also know some players who could pull it off like it was their business. It's like singing AC/DC too. I mean, there's a I guess a group of voices out there that can do AC/DC well, and other bands would probably say, nah, I really don't want to do Back in Black because I don't do it justice, What's Ryan Schwab says. Yeah, I mean, karaoke, I mean, it's a whole different animal there. And karaoke people butcher songs many days in that aspect. But we're kicking on the bands here. And if you're in a band, tell us the song. I still have not had a specific topic of what songs people won't play too much today. And that's what I want to hear. Hello, Alex, my brother from another mother.
Hi, Alex.
Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Well-versed Southern rock bands should even consider Freebird. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever heard Brett Brock play, I've heard him do that on occasion, and he does a great job. But you got to be, and he's got the look. He looks like Ricky Medlock anyway. So Happy birthday to Carrie, Glenn says. Yeah, I don't think he's on here yet. I haven't seen him. If he is, he's hiding in the shadows. Karis, do you have a specific song that you just absolutely makes your skin crawl when a band plays it?
Oh, I know I do, but now I can't even think about it. Think of it. I don't know. Ballads.
Jonathan, yeah, you don't like slow songs at all.
I don't.
Jonathan says he refuses to play Bobby McGee unless the singer can nail a Joplin imitation. Yeah, I mean, you can do Bobby McGee with Gina McCann, and she'll slay it.
Yeah, there's the problem is there are some really great songs, but a lot of people scream their lyrics, and that ruins a really great song.
Don't hate Eric. He says, don't stop believing. Great song. But he'd rather cut off his fingers than play it. Okay. I can't begin to count on one hand separate ways and Don't Stop Believing how many times they've been played at the Jam at the Bell. I mean, it's just a go-to song for a lot of people, and it happens. You raising your hand?
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, the other thing that'll drive you crazy, we've gotten into this before, but is the set list that you can predict on a band when you go see them a couple times. That's a whole
we're fixing that with the jam session. Like, we've got all new songs now, which is nice. Like, we're fixing it up.
Well, and you got to have change. You do.
Yeah.
All REO, all Journey, so overplayed. That seems to be the trend today. Thank you, Kimberly. That seems to be the trend, though, is people are talking about songs being overplayed versus a band just saying, I just despise playing this. I can't play that song because I hate playing it. That's the interesting part. And Kevin says very few overplayed songs are terrible songs. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like people hating on Nickelback, man. I mean, you know, Nickelback had a lot of hits and they were great business people, and people hate on Nickelback, but you know, some people still play them. But people play them still out because people want to hear the covers. I hate on
Nickelback to piss off my husband.
Is he like a Nickelback fanatic?
Yeah, I don't know if he's just doing it on purpose, but yeah, he's a Nickelback fanatic. I don't know if we're just pissing each other off and we don't even realize that we're just joking. I don't know.
Well, interesting.
I do respect their business, you know, stuff. Kenny, you know, for the most part, overplayed, decline songs based on they feel. Yeah, for the most part they do. Unfortunately, like I've been running into a lot, is there is a real lack of self-awareness lately, and a lot of artists think that they can do it. They can't.
Thanks, Bob Klein. Nickelback does suck.
Hey, Bob, you and I are like this.
Yeah, Bob was great on the show yesterday, by the way, even though he looked like a tomato. You do?
I think so.
Brad says songs with offending. Absolutely. You know, if it depends on what you're offended by. I mean, you know,
that's subjective.
But I think anything that stereotypes people or anything you would sing that's negative towards somebody's specific way of life or this or that is not a song to go to when you're playing out live. But, you know, look at Miss Jackie, Killing in the Name. I mean, that song.
I love when she does that.
That could be offensive to people, you know, some people if they walk in, but it's a hit when she does it every single time. Jonathan is full of great comments today.
Jonathan's amazing.
It's popular. The audience will dance to it. They'll dig it. I really dread ever having to play Kid Rock. Sweet Home. Yeah. It's incredibly boring. It's like Picture. When you go to a karaoke bar and a guy and a girl get up and you see Picture pop up on the karaoke screen, I usually call that a smoke break, and I don't even smoke. I go outside and hang out with the smokers because I've heard that till I want to crawl through broken glass and choke Kid Rock out. But, you know, did I say that out loud?
You did.
Sorry, I'll probably get kicked off for that, but, you know, we're not allowed to say anything bad. Hi, Billy Sutherland. Thank you for being here. And, Jonathan says, if the audience is jamming, I'll have to play it. I have to agree with you. I mean, you know, and some of these songs that bands are just sick of playing and they refuse to, they're missing the boat some days because that'll keep your dance floor going. And people love these songs.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, if a venue is paying you to entertain their guests. Entertain their guests. You know what I mean?
And we were talking about Don't Stop Believing. I mean, I've seen that song played so many times. I've seen it at the Bell with the entire front of the room, 50, 60 people jumping up and down with their hands in the air and all that, singing along. You can't argue that. I mean, that's giving the crowd energy. It's doing its thing. And as Kimberly got to say, Under the Sun packs the house, and so does Crown Watts, because they play a lot of stuff we don't always hear. I think that's why people love those bands, is because they get a chance to do that. Now, I will say I love Crown Watts. I love them like they're such professionals, and their music is wonderful. They are not a band I would tell somebody, if you want to go have a party night out and dance and get all crazy, that is not a Crown Watts. If you want to go enjoy great music, go see Crown Watts. You know, I mean, there's different people for different things, and we're getting a little off track, but it's keep your hands to yourself, Billy says, is a no for them. Okay. What do you think is the worst song ever to play, cover song ever to play? Some of you musicians chime in. The worst song you just hate to play, but you have to sometimes. Throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear that. Worst always works, Karis.
I like your answer, Jeff Vance. Personally, I can't think of a song. That's professional. I like that.
Yeah. Jeff Vance. Good dude. Good dude.
Agreed,
and Ryan says he's talked to party bands before, and there's songs they want to play but won't add because they don't know if it will go over well enough or not. Yeah, you got to try it some night, I guess. But, you know, ultimately you should play what keeps people engaged.
If you care, then you should. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, there was this dialogue going on. I watched it on the Book of Face the other day where people were talking about throwing in that one obligatory song that the musician loves, but everybody in the audience just gets up and leaves for. That's probably not a good move. You know, if you ask Karis, I know it's not a good move because she watches her room like a hawk, man. She's like that hawk in the tree, man, looking for a mouse.
I watch my room and compare it to the numbers because I can see hourly, minutely what's going on. And I know I follow patterns and I know what works and what doesn't.
And, you know, I'm from an era, Karis, where I used to spin vinyl records in a disco nightclub, for lack of a better term, with a couple thousand people being out on the dance floor. And I can tell you, I could tell in a second if I played a tune that was a crowd killer.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the bartenders like that because the crowd left the floor. They went and bought a drink if they were all fevered pitched up. But for the most part, I killed the vibe, like Bob Klein's saying. And that,
yeah. So here's the thing. But you know what the difference is you pay attention to that, you notice that, and you probably fixed it and took note of that.
I never did it again. Yeah.
Right. The problem that I'm running into is sometimes with bands or just musicians is they don't care. And they'll come up with reasons why they should play these things because it's to please them. It's not to please the crowd. And that's where that's where I get a little irritated because you should care. I'm paying you to care. You know what I mean?
Jonathan Brown-Eyed Girl, he says that's one. Yeah, that's one of those that it's where it is. That's where it's at. So that's one. Mustang Sally gets a vote. And Alex says what Jonathan Groom says. Yes. So anybody else out there have one they just specifically refuse to play because they just can't stand to play that cover song? We want to hear from you on that. Karis, what about when, like you said, these bands that just don't care, what do they do to your sales and your business when that happens? When they play that song, does it actually make people get up and leave?
I can watch people get up and leave. I watch people go sit back down and then they got bummed out and then it changes the vibe. Once a vibe is killed, it is so hard to get it back. Not saying you can't, but you're going to want to make sure that they stick around to get that vibe back. And then the problem is the same people that don't care that are going to play that one song, they usually play a couple more to follow.
Yeah, to actually just absolutely nail the coffin shut, right?
And I'm just looking and I just think to myself, you know, they're like, well, you know, I play music for myself, or, you know, everybody needs a bathroom break, or everybody. No. Listen to some of these songs that made a top 20 list of songs bands
don't like to play. All right. This is interesting. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Stones. Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. But people request, these are songs people request, but bands don't like to play them. A couple Pink tunes in there. Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. Heard that one a few times in places. Really one that was on there that was interesting. Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp. It lists it as a crowd killer. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sucking on a chili dog.
Kevin Cooper, please don't ever sing that song unless we're doing it to laugh.
Does that mean that Kathy and I are out on our death metal version of I Got You, Babe? At the jam?
You can do it. You guys can do it.
We are really planning to do that one night. Let's see what Taz has to say here. Bill, a live thumping room band should never play slow dance music, full throttle, or go home. Yeah, I agree 100%, Taz.
I agree, Taz.
That's what Karis molds her room into. And it's not the listening. You want to come to listening room, go see Rick Kern when he plays there once a month, or go see Gina and Johnny when people are not necessarily up the whole time dancing, but they're listening to fantastic music.
We still
there are
have
times
fantastic
for that.
music, but fantastic music, I don't know what's this in this people's head. It's like fantastic music can still be fast. It can still be, it doesn't have to be slow.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I've been blown away more so with upbeat than I have with slow jams.
I
love
Jason.
Slow jams, but there's a time and a place for it.
Kareem says Jack and Diane boring. Yeah, it is. There's some more here. Don't ever play Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. Now, here's what's funny about that. When I do this Name That Tune thing, I do at Heather's all summer, and we play music on the breaks between the rounds. If I put that song on and there's 350 to 400 people there,
everybody's singing it.
Everybody's singing it and do it. I mean, so you gotta weigh that out a little bit. It's not. I think people hate on some people and just don't like their song, but don't try to do Korn if you're not into that genre. Don't try to pull off a Korn song. Nothing Compares to You is so bad. Some people do it. Whether they do the Chris Cornell version, the Sinead version, or the Prince version, whatever they're doing. There's some people who butcher the hell out of that. REM's another group I can't stand to hear bands try to cover. Shiny Happy People I've heard bands do. Makes me want to vomit. Sorry. Did I say that? What else we got here? Oh, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Another one I've seen people absolutely butcher horribly. Don't try to cover it. Don't try to do the Pretenders. And here's one you better be damn good at if you're going to play it. Stairway to Heaven.
You better be real damn good because you got a whole lot of competition on that one.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear a shitty version of Stairway to Heaven. I mean, they've been singing that song since they were a kid, most of them, and they know every word. If you butcher that, you might as well just drop the mic and leave. It's over. It's over. What's Bob got to say now? Bob's got something else.
If you're gonna have a slow song, save it for know your venue. So I have an older crowd, so people don't tend to stay that late. The only bands that I can really see that I see people actually stay till the end is Under the Sun, is one of them that sticks out. Other than that, people are usually done around 12. Put your slow song on around 12. You know what I mean? Put your, something like that. But when I look,
there's Bob Klein with another home run, by the way. Bob Klein's comment. He is spot on with his comments. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you put the slow song on, that one couple gets up to dance. They haven't done anything all night and then hide again.
I just think it all depends on the location where you're at, where you're playing.
Don't do Creep by Radiohead either. That's another one. Can't see it. There's a lot. I mean, you want to know what the number one is to never play in a bar? You want to kill a vibe, absolutely make people want to go out and... well, no, it's not the number one. Want to stand in traffic and hope the car hits them? Don't play Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. Talk about depressing your audience. I mean, especially if you know what that song's about. Why would you play
that as a band at a live performance unless you're playing at a funeral?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you? I just want to know straight up. And for bands that play that, why do you play that? Like, why would you?
I was at a funeral once when that first came out after his son died and all that. And he made that song. And it was a young man who had muscular dystrophy. He was 14 and he passed away. And there was like 500 people at this funeral. And they played that song. And it was a blubbering fest. I mean, people bawling their eyes out. It is not a song that ever makes me happy.
No.
I mean, I could never, ever listen to that. And there's, you know, there's songs that bands will try to pull off on a request that they, like you said, stay in your lane, man. There's songs you know you can't pull off.
Right.
I'm trying to get a comment up here, but it's not working. Oh, I think I froze again. Well, we're back to the freeze play.
Moving.
You keep talking then.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Go right ahead, Karis. It's all you. I don't know. We're about done. We're about out of time, but I'm trying to get this freeze thing is driving me crazy. I actually had to change a power supply out of my router today.
Know your venue for sure.
Ahead.
You know what they drink, learn what they jam to. I think Shot 30 or Audiography will try any song that is requested, at least they used to. Tonight's show is going to be fun. Tonight we have the Gene and Johnny Band. Yeah, by the way, guys, it's not next Wednesday because we have Lita Ford next Wednesday. It's the Gene and Johnny Band with Billy Rock tonight at 7:30.
Hey, by the way, thanks for putting them ahead of me, by the way. Okay. I so appreciate you putting them ahead of me on Tuesday night so I won't have anybody on Wednesday. Thanks.
Sorry.
I love you. Yeah, you're killing me.
But it's usually your side of town that comes down for your shows, so I think we'll be fine.
I don't know that that's happening this month, but we'll get them next month for sure.
I'm not worried about it. It's always successful.
We'll have fun no matter what.
I think when I was like reading the comments, it was funny and everything. And then I don't know if I read, they're like, we just flat out refuse to sing this song. And I was thinking to myself, I don't think there's like anything, if somebody is paying me to entertain people and like that's what's going to entertain somebody, I don't think it's fair to say like it's flat out not going to play this because of because it annoys me. The amount, I just think nowadays, and I'm going on a tangent, so just bear with me here. So I apologize, but it costs probably about 5 times the amount to run this kind of business, like this industry, than it did pre-COVID. And everybody's raising their prices, including bands. So, I'm going to put this into perspective. Like I've had to start charging cover. I don't have a choice because it costs 5 times the amount to run this business, and bands are raising their prices as they should, no problem. But like in perspective, last year I spent over $130,000 in live music.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money, right? So when I hear somebody say, and when a band comes to me and they've raised their price, like you deserve, you guys are talented, hence why I'm booking you to play the show. But you say, no, we're not fucking playing that song. We're tired of playing that song. Do you have $134,000 you'd like to invest and try to play? Just play the fucking song.
Damn.
We're all trying to make shit work here. I feel like I'm talking to myself because you're not there.
I'm here. I'm just not here.
Frozen.
I know the wheel of death is spinning. It'll come back in a few minutes, maybe. If it doesn't, then we'll just say bye to everybody. But I can see you're moving on the live feed, so that's good, Joe. You just keep doing your thing. And I love what you said about cover because you're one of the last holdouts. I mean, of not. I
tried, dude, but it became impossible.
Yeah, it's bands are upping their rates mega, and I've had a lot of venue owners tell me they can't afford some of these bands they used to love to have. And
it's crazy how much they've raised. They're like going from they're raising it like $400, and I'm like, there is no way I can afford. I would love to be able to afford, but like I said, and that was on the low end. The $130,000 is what I spent, and nowadays, my doors will close if I had to do that. Like it is insane how much it's, and it's fine. It's totally fine. You got to do because prices are up for them. I get it. But I feel like, just play the song. Play the song.
Well, Karis, in band defense, on the other side of this, bands' rates, I know in a lot of clubs have not gone up for 20 years.
Oh, I'm
they're getting paid the same.
I'm not mad at them.
That's a hard thing to swallow too when all the costs go up. And that I argue with venue owners all the time about hiring a sound person to work with a band because they want to say, oh, $200 more, $100 more for a sound guy. You don't have a clue of what they spend in that equipment that's sitting
They
up
don't.
there.
The equipment is insane.
You and just bought some.
I'm when I'm saying this, I'm not dogging the bands. I want you to know that. I know that they earned it. They deserve it. It's expensive. I'm not complaining about that. I'm saying we all have to work together because the prices are going up for everybody. If they go up for the band, they're going up for the venue. They're going up for so something's got to give. And if that means you got to play that song to entertain the crowd so we can keep getting this crowd back, so I can keep hiring you and people will still keep paying that cover to come and see you, play the song. Nobody's going to pay a cover if you're not going to play the songs that they want to hear.
Amen to that. Well, you know what? I think we've run this dead horse long enough. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you look funny in your frozen picture.
I know. I do. I look like I'm pooping or something. I don't know. So, yeah, hold on. We're back. I think I'm about to come back.
There you are.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Gosh, this sucks when it does that. I have got to figure this business out. But that's what we got to say today. And there's been a ton more comments roll in since I was frozen and couldn't see the comments. So thank you for all those. Comments. And what Jeff Vance say? Open for bid, then 150 not to play it. Yes. There's so many comments here. Thank you guys so much for the comments on the show today and your input. It's kind of fun to talk about things like this that aren't real heavy. It's just like
it is fun. I like it. I'm bummed I missed the first little bit. But. Well,
I'm glad you made it. And Bill says he'll pay any cover for entertainment. Yeah, I mean, for what you're paying now for everything else in the world, a $5 cover or whatever is not expensive.
And it all goes to the band anyway. So if you're coming to see a band, you can pay them $5.
Yes. Now that's interesting, Taz. He says he won't pay a $10 cover bill, pay $5 to $8. That's interesting. The mentality of people on this cover thing is really interesting to dig into because I've watched people walk to the door and not pay. I mean, $5,
Oh,
you've seen people.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like it's $5, but I can understand $10 is that's money. That's a lot of money. I don't care who you are. It's money,
Well, and maybe you put a big sign at the front door that says your entry fee tonight helps pay for the band that you're enjoying, or something like that.
Entry fee pays for the band.
Yeah. So I don't know. Interesting. Well, we've run out of time. We've even run out of time for this or that. We don't even have time for that today. So I'm so happy we got a chance to be here. Somebody said Lita. I'm looking forward to Lita as well. It's going to be a fun night, right? Yes. Always. So tonight you've got Gina and Johnny along with Billy Rock, and I'll be at Mr. Burroughs Tavern doing Quiztastic Tuesday trivia. And then tomorrow night I'll be making my first appearance at the Bell and the Bear.
Here with me tomorrow.
I will be. Faded Cow food truck will be open. We'll be having a blast tomorrow night. So guys, if you're in the Cincinnati area, you've never come supported Name That Tune, please do. Please come and see us tomorrow night at 7:00. We'll be done by 9:30. You can go home and get in bed before it's even 10:00. So there. That all we got?
Those people off. Support your local band. Thank you, Cincy Local and Live.
Yeah, a $5 cover to me is nothing. Bob says it costs more than $10 to see a shitty movie. Yeah, pay the cover. Amen, Bob. Thank you for that.
There's some bands like a Chip Coburn Trillions only charges that the certain bands. Yeah, there's going to be certain bands that I'm not going to charge a cover for because I can't afford it. You know what I mean? But
you're not going to charge a cover on Thursdays, are you?
No.
Yeah. So
but let me tell you something. Let me put this in perspective for you, though. That there's like in a year, Thursdays cost me $52,000 minimum. So I just want people to understand that's like it's between $52,000 and $60,000 I pay just for Thursdays. You know?
So spend money when you go, people. Don't be afraid to help it out. Keep the venues rolling because we need that. And Kenny just said, especially when McDonald's is 15.
Yeah, everything's gone up. I don't.
Well, that's creating a whole nother dilemma. That's a whole nother show. But, are people cutting back on their nights going out because of the finances right now and the grocery costs and all that? I know I've talked to people who are,
Yeah, I agree. And I agree. And nobody, like, that's what I'm saying. There's nobody to blame. Like, this is not a blame game.
Right.
It's everybody is struggling. And all those businesses that people are like, this place is always busy. Yeah. But remember, it's costing us 5 times as much to run this business as it did before pre-COVID. Just
on the beer per ounce cost is unbelievable.
It's crazy. So we may, just keep that in mind. And and I keep in mind that's why I don't raise my drink prices as much as I see other places, because I want people to be able to afford it,
And Karis, I had somebody walk up to me at one of my events, and we do 29 weeks straight. And the lady said, this was on like week 27. And she goes, I love coming here. I love coming every week. It's so much fun. But she said, I did a little search on my bank account, my bank card, and I put in the venue. And between me and my family, we've spent $3,600 this year just coming on Wednesdays. Now,
wow.
put that into perspective
It's
with
a lot.
What other people, your electric bill, your everything. So we have to appreciate our audience a lot, and the people that pay to come to see people and people that come to see bands. Yeah. And it's getting tighter and tighter. And so if they're not filling the tip jar as much, that's probably not your fault. It's probably more so the fact that they don't have that disposable income anymore. And we can only hope we get them one night a week now. And I mean, and that's as hard as it can be this time. And COVID really made it easy for people to upcharge and to do things in the business world with supplies and say, oh, there's supply chain issues, so we're charging you more. It has become an epidemic. Trust me. And, and I think we're getting gouged by a lot of folks too.
I never did that.
Opinion. No, you never raised your prices.
I didn't raise my prices at all.
But your suppliers did, didn't they?
They sure did. So I raised my price by a quarter last year. The first time. Just a quarter.
And that didn't come close to covering the upcharges.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, no. But I want people to have a place to go where they're not going to break the bank. Where it's important.
Sure. And you're not a VFW, you're not a Moose Lodge and those kind of places who can make money off the gambling.
Yeah.
To keep their doors open and their roof, on and all that. That's why they can charge bare minimum prices for drinks in those places. And that's becoming a competition too, Yeah,
I still think we do pretty good with our prices. But yeah, the cover, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah. And you should.
Yeah.
I mean, and it'll help you keep the bands that people are used to having.
Absolutely.
There. That's the good thing too.
I want it all. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. If you're watching after we're live, please drop a comment. Don't forget to hit that little share button. If you're a music lover, share it on your page. Tomorrow, Sean McGarry on the show at noon. We're going to talk about his music salon and some of the bands that he's in. That'll be fun. And then Thursday, who's playing out? If you're a band out there watching today, please send us your gigs before noon on Thursday so we can get them on the list, as we call it, on Thursdays. Karis, it's a pleasure having you with me as always. Thank you so much. Let's get on out of here. Y'all too. Let's do it. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We're rolling out. Thanks for watching, guys. You've been watching Hot Topic Tuesday, spreading joy and judgment right here at All Around Town Radio with the lovely Karis and the gentleman with a face for radio, yours truly.
I love your face.
Time to go. I love your face.